My name is Ingrid Vanderveldt. I'm the founder of Empowering a Billion Women by 2020, and this is my Tributaries from To story. When I was actually coming out of the third grade, I was failing out of school. And the principal called my parents and essentially said, your daughter can no longer go to school here. We frankly think, and this is totally not PC to say, but they said, we think your daughter is retarded. Wow. And we can't help her. There's nothing we can do. What was interesting about that experience, though, is that we found out after 3 years that I actually had really bad hearing problems, that once fixed, I was able to excel. I actually first went to architecture school because I wanted to be an interior designer, and I won a scholarship to go to the Savannah College of Art and Design, and it was actually my father who said, the only way I'm going to let you go to this school is if you go and get an architecture degree while you're there. What happened for me when I really transitioned from being an architecture student to running my own business was first of all, as an architect, you're always inspired to solve these big creative problems. So you like solving things that haven't been solved before. First of all, that's very similar to a business owner, an entrepreneur. But second of all, while I was in school, I had run for office of the American Institute of Architecture students, and I won and became one of 5 people who, at a very young age, oversaw the AIAS, overseeing architecture students in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico, talking about how do we build a better Austin, for example? How do we build a better Seattle that'll inspire people to create businesses here from an architectural standpoint? And I really felt like if I went off to get a JD MBA, a law and a business degree, that I would be just as smart as these people, I would know what they were talking about, and I could really be an active contributor. And so that's actually what led to me going off to get a law and a business degree. And then while I was in grad school, I started launching companies, just really almost for the fun and the challenge of it. And loved that so much. I did finish with my business degree. I never finished the law degree, but that's what kicked off my entrepreneurial career. Business school was so helpful for me in terms of learning how to be an entrepreneur and really transitioning from being an architect to being an entrepreneur, because frankly, I was a 21, 22, 23-year-old kid that had come out of an art school and really had not a lot of business sense. You know, when you study with these great minds and these people who have been wildly successful at business, it was, I made it a goal of mine to learn everything that I could from them, but I really wanted to learn what did they do to overcome challenges to become successful. And that's really where I started focusing my attention and learned a ton. I think I started my first business back in around 1997, and I became the entrepreneur in residence at Dell in 2011. And between that time, I started and sold a number of companies, different industries, all of them technology-related companies. I became a business television host on CNBC with the purpose of sharing stories from my mentors to help inspire other entrepreneurs to learn the kinds of things that I was learning. And then I learned how to overcome significant challenges. I mean, I had a business that failed so badly, I became homeless at one point. Being an entrepreneur is one of the most rewarding things I think anybody can do with their life, because it really is a person who's living what they're passionate about, and they're creating a living doing it. And when things work, they're creating opportunity for themselves, their family, their community, and now ultimately the world. It is also the most challenging thing that you can do. I had many experiences building companies ideas that didn't work. And the most challenging one was when I became homeless. I knew I always had my parents I could go back to, but frankly, I was so embarrassed and humiliated that after having built some companies successfully, that I had put everything on the line and couldn't read the writing on the wall early enough to save myself, that I messed up so bad that I literally had all my belongings and my cats at the time in my car. Top things that helped me in terms of being a successful entrepreneur, overcoming the challenges, get a mentor. That is the most critical thing that you can do as an entrepreneur. The next thing that you can do in terms of helping yourself as an entrepreneur is create a support group around you. I like to recommend the Muhammad Yunus model, which is a group of 5. So I have a group of 5. We called ourselves the Billionaire Girls Club, and we get on the phone once a month for an hour, and we go through and we talk about, it's a safe place to talk about challenges that we're facing, and we brainstorm on how to help one another. Another thing that I would do as an entrepreneur to really help bolster your success, your learning, is read really good books. And a few of the books that I would recommend, number 1, Overcoming Under-Earning is a great book by Barbara Stanny. It's all about owning your self-worth. Another book is The First Billion is the Hardest by T. Boone Pickens. And another book is Super Rich by Russell Simmons. All excellent books in terms of ideas on how to build successfully. As I have spent the past 3 years spending 90% of my time on the road in the markets around the world with entrepreneurs and women worldwide, I have found that the number one thing that holds women back from going out and really pursuing their life as an entrepreneur is actually lack of confidence. And the nice thing about that, though, is the fastest antidote to lack of confidence is simply taking action. And we take action when we can see role models who've been there and done that successfully, and we can follow in their footsteps. Only put things on your plate that get you closer to that goal. And it was actually that vision that brought me to Dell. And I wanted to join Dell because they're very committed to women entrepreneurs worldwide. And I knew if I could team with Dell that would give me an instant global technology platform. And we created the Entrepreneur in Residence position, and that just took off. And I ended up overseeing entrepreneurial initiatives globally for the company. The biggest thing that holds me back is not all the no's and not the doubting. You know, I get it. What holds me back is my own self-doubt that I think every person understandably has, no matter what it is that they're doing. Like, who the heck goes out into the world and says, I'm gonna go empower 1/7 of the world's population? It just sounds, impossible so many days. Doing it, deal making, funding entrepreneurs, and really expanding that goal of empowering 1 billion women. So yes, I will always be an entrepreneur.